Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlighten, Empowered, Evolve. I hope everybody's doing well. Wait, I believe everybody's doing well. I have faith everybody's doing well, and everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you can't see it at first. I'm excited yet again today because I have yet again another extraordinary guest. Carl Stedmond. Or did I say it right?
You did, Lou. Yeah, you got
Carl
it.
Stedmond. I just want to make sure that I'm pronouncing names correctly. And before Carl speaks to us and enlightens us on his amazing journey, life, and goals, or whatever he wants to talk to us about, I'm going to tell you something about him. So listen up, you don't want to miss this. So it seems Carl Stedmond came to this beautiful planet to empower. At the age of 8, was struck down with a rare hip dis-ease known as Perthese, right? And was confined to a wheelchair for 3 years. Wow. At the age of 14, was inspired by the late, great Bruce Lee. Wow, I just light up when I hear Bruce Lee. His life was never to be the same. He joined his local Shotokan Karate club there. And then, he immigrated from Liverpool, England to Ontario, Canada in 1988. And after 14 years of intense training, opened his first fitness club and Dojo Karate Hall, the Liverpool Karate and Kickboxing Club. Wow. Carl also went on to create and trademark 2 fitness workouts, SKIPFIT and KICKBOXERCISE in 1999. Impressive. In 2005, Carl had a mystical experience and indeed a huge shift in consciousness. And this inspired him to recreate himself again. He changed the name of his dojo to the Harmony Center. With the firm belief that he created his own reality with every word, thought, and feeling, he declared and then also became a singer-songwriter. He wrote and recorded his first CD, The Diary of an Uneducated Man, with the lead singer of the band Lighthouse, Dan Clancy. Wow. The CD was mixed by L Stu Young, who mixed for the artist formerly known as Prince. Carl has done many TV and radio appearances, both talking and singing about his life and work. Carl's second CD is for children. The Greatest Me was composed and written by Peter Nielsen, except the song I Am That I Am, written by Carl. The CD has been done with state-of-the-art recording frequency. Wow, 432 hertz. And will empower children throughout the world with the powerful affirmation style. Wow. Carl is still doing what he loves, teaching karate in his own unique style of empowerment and performing shows. He has a radio show, The Joy of Being, and is currently working on a TV series, 2 Different Worlds, about consciousness. Need I say more? Wow. And I resonate with a lot of points in here, and there's just so much I want to talk about already. How are you doing today, Mr. Carl Stedmond?
I'm fabulous, Luz. How are you doing?
Stedmond, sorry.
Stedmond. You got
Stedmond,
it right.
I said it right. Stedmond.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm fabulous, Lou. Yeah, really, really amazing. And it's a tough time for everyone on the planet. I know that.
Right.
But, my life is really good. I'm doing what I love to do and continue to do it,
Now, where are you originally from? Because you have an accent there to me. I can hear it.
Yeah, I'm actually from a place called Birkenhead, which is right across the water from Liverpool. I know you like singing, Lou. You might have heard the song, Ferry Across the Mersey, and always take me there. Jerry Marsden, Jerry and the Pacemakers.
So I've heard of that, but I need to probably hear it. When did that come out?
Oh, it came out probably in
The 80s?
the 80s. Yeah, I
The
think it
80s.
was,
Yeah, I think that
yeah,
that something is starting to tick in there. Yeah,
yeah.
so that's where it's from.
So the ferry across the Mersey is from Liverpool to Birkenhead, and it's a bit like Staten Island in New York, like the little ferry. It's only like takes 10 minutes to get across, but it's quite a famous river in England, the River Mersey. So
Wow.
I'm from Birkenhead.
Well, I know I said I want you to talk about whatever, but I mean, just reading your amazing life story here or parts of it. I'm sure you didn't get your whole life story in this, but I want to ask a few questions. Now, when you were 8 years old, you were struck with this rare hip disease. How did that come about? I mean, it just happened one day, you couldn't get up. And how did you overcome that?
Yeah. Do you know what happened, Luke? I wasn't suffering with pain at first, but my father said, why are you limping? I had a limp, right? I
Right.
said, well, I didn't even notice that it was,
Right.
And, a month went by and I was still limping. He said, you're limping badly. So he took me to hospital and we had like lots of x-rays. And then probably a couple of months after that, because they didn't know what it was, and it must have been about 3 to 4 months before they finally discovered it was a disease called Perthese disease. And it happens to a lot of young kids who are very into sports, because I used to love soccer. We call it football in England. And being
Yes.
from Liverpool, most people are like football, right? So I used to
Yes.
play football every day, every hour. And so they discovered it, probably about 4 or 5 months later.
Wow.
And then they said to me, there was two things I could have done at the time, or my father could have done. I could have had surgery, or they could do it a natural way, which is just rest. But it was like 2 years in a wheelchair rest, then another year of like the calipers, like Forrest Gump. So I was a bit like Forrest Gump in the end with the big irons on my legs. So it was for
Wow.
3 years. Yeah.
And how long? And so it was about 2 years before that disappeared.
It was 2 years in a wheelchair, then another year with irons on my legs. So 3 years altogether.
And
Yeah.
I could just imagine, especially being a young kid, because when we're kids, that's especially the time that we want to be active. So I
Yeah.
can imagine how inconvenient for one, painful that was for you to have to sit still and not be active, especially you liking to play football and you couldn't do any of that for years.
Yeah, looking back, that was probably the hardest thing. But as I've got older and started to understand about the subconscious mind, and especially with children, then programs, it
Right.
probably disempowered me quite a lot. But as we spoke about Mr. Bruce Lee, at the age of 14, then I discovered him too. And he changed my life. I wanted to join a Kung Fu club because Bruce Lee done Jeet Kune Do.
Right.
But there was nothing in the area. So I got the next best thing, which was martial arts and karate. And I still teach to this day, mostly kids. I'm a
Yeah, I've
chain.
seen some of your pictures. Sorry, but yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, I love that.
My teaching has changed since I've had that shift in consciousness, But
Right.
going back then, yeah, it was a very disempowering time for me in my young life.
Right.
And I think that's probably why I love to empower now, especially children, because I wasn't really, I didn't have a guide when I was young. No one said you could do this or you could do that. And
Right.
I watch your videos, Lutz, and I'm the same. I want to let people know you can achieve anything if you go for them dreams,
Right. And as we were saying prior to this segment, it's not a coincidence that so many people that I resonate with, that I attract or that attract me, have been through, a lot of hardships, a lot of, just pain and, things in their life to propel them to reach different heights and to reach inside of them. And the good thing is, from going through their adversities, they want to not only empower themselves like you want to share that with that energy, your perspectives, your knowledge, your insight, your everything with other people, especially young people. And I think that's absolutely great.
Yeah, I agree, Lutz. It's I don't know, it's just something that it pushes us to do that. We want to share what we know because we've been through it, right? And
right.
It's and to be honest, my great pain came about 20 years ago in my life, and right. I look back, and that's how I had the mystical experience and the shift in consciousness, and I look at it like a blessing in disguise because my life wasn't working, and I had everything a guy could want, and then after I lost everything, I realized what was truly important to my life,
Right. That's amazing because I resonate with that story so many times, including myself. Is when I first, I say about 5 years ago, when I began my transformation and my shift in my consciousness, I stopped and started looking in and just looking at the way my life was working in certain bad things kept just reoccurring. And I was like, that has to do something with me. I finally got to a point where I stopped looking outward and blaming people and, oh, this happened because that person, oh, this happened because them, and started looking at me. What was the common denominator there? Me. So there was some energy that I needed to change, some mindset in here that needed to change. And, it's like you said, it doesn't matter what I had materialistically, financially. You cannot put a price on peace of mind.
No.
And just finding your own balance and harmony within yourself. That right there is priceless. And I even believe those that are very wealthy monetarily would pay anything if they could align with harmony, balance, peace, good health, and because that right there is the true happiness. And of course, pouring out into others' lives in what you're doing. So that right there, you can't put a price on that or substitute the satisfaction in that gives you from helping people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. So you still have a karate club or a couple of karate clubs?
No, I don't now. I only teach. I teach at the club a couple of times a week, teach the children. But I also do it in a Montessori school as well, Montessori system, where it's actually more self-empowerment for the children. Right. I teach sports, but however I teach the children that the champion is inside. I have a profound faith in the divine.
Right.
But a lot of people, especially in the Montessori school system, they come from a lot of different religious backgrounds. So I don't call it anything in particular. I just call it the champion inside. And I try and help the children bring that champion out,
Right. Basically self-empowerment.
Yes.
Which I'm big on.
Yeah.
That's what I entitled my the style of music that I create, self-empowerment hip hop. Yeah. So
and it's fabulous.
We are on the same frequency in that regards as well. 100%. So I think that's absolutely amazing. Now I want to ask you the music. Now, what inspired you to become an artist yourself, and how long have you been doing that?
Good question. I've been singing all my life as a kid.
Right.
But I never even thought about getting into a band, but I love singing, right?
Right.
And, it started my business at my dojo when I came to Canada and that. So I was busy with that. But I'd always loved to sing, right? And I started to understand that we do co-create our own reality. And I decided to go out and buy a system with backing tracks because I didn't have time. It was like a download that I got, I thought, I'm going to go out and sing. I am a singer. Of course, the I am is a very powerful statement. Right? I am a singer. I'm going to go out and sing. So bought a sound system, I bought backing tracks, Frank Sinatra. I do a lot of Rod Stewart as well because I do tributes to
I love Rod Stewart.
Yeah, I do most of Rod's songs, right?
Right.
And anyway, Lutz, I was at that time, I was going through a really hard time with my life because my father died. Me and my wife got divorced. I lost my home. I lost my business. I broke my ankle. I just went through all these things within a 6-month period. And then I had a mystical experience. And within that experience, all the problems, my whole life flashed me by. Right. So, like as a kid, being in the wheelchair, there was an experience with light, and throughout this experience, it was almost like I was being cradled by love, of an extremely intense love. So, all the experiences, the hard experiences I've gone through in my life, including the wheelchair, growing up, leaving my family in England when I emigrated over here. The pains that I went through with losing the home, the divorce, and all that, they were all in this light experience. But it was almost like, if you want to call it the divine or God, whatever, was saying, it's okay, you're with me. And at the end of that experience, I see myself on stage singing songs. And then I come out of it and I'm like, what was that? That changed me there and then forever. I went and changed the name of my club then, my martial arts club, from the Liverpool Karate and Kickboxing Club to the Harmony Centre, and put a huge sign on the wall about 32 feet by 16 feet, massive, the Harmony Centre, which proclaimed love, peace and harmony. And it was a hardcore club, right, that I had. The lads were like, I had probably about 20 black belts and 20 brown belts underneath me. And I went in the next Monday morning teaching. And I said to them, the guys, it's all about love. It's all about peace. And so you were looking at me like I've got two heads, you know.
Yes,
so
was
so profound that I didn't really have an awful lot of time to sit and think about what was that. I just went straight to love and peace. And from that moment, I've walked my talk. You know, I love to let people know that we're all connected to this divine energy. Right. And the law of attraction is real. And I know all the stuff that you're doing because I've been following you, Lutz, on your videos. And it's like, oh my God, I love it. You know, it's amazing. That's what it's all about.
Right. Yes. And you know already that it's no coincidence that we've connected. So everything unfolds perfectly the way it's supposed to. And I have a saying that the universe is a perfect orchestrator. Whether you know what reason someone comes into your life or not, you may not know at first. It could be for a lesson, it could be for anything, you don't know. But I just know this, that even from just speaking with you the few times I have, and you know, the messages and reading your bio, that we have some similarities, maybe not exactly the same, but similar things and similar interests. Beginning with Bruce Lee. So, so that right there, you know, it's hard to not like another person that their idol was Bruce Lee, like mine. So.
The great thing about Bruce Lee, Lutz, as well, a lot of people don't know, I read all his books by a gentleman, done about 12 books, and some of the writings of Bruce Lee was in Cantonese, and he deciphered all the writing. I forget the name of the guy now, but anyway, Bruce Lee had declared, we know about the voice and the energy, declared he's going to be the biggest Oriental movie star ever. And Bruce Lee was very into physics. He understood about the law of attraction back then, which is so powerful, you know. And it was like, wow. And it's only later on in my life, I'm like, I knew there was a reason why I loved Bruce Lee. There was something about his energy. He was charismatic. There was something about him, right? Because he was connected to it.
Yes. And he, like you said, he spoke it into reality, you know?
Yeah.
So
big fly in here.
Oh, yeah. No, I figured that. that there's something in there bugging you. But yeah, that's amazing how he said it before it happened. He stuck to that vision. He carried himself already like that before he was that, and that's exactly what he was.
Yeah.
So the biggest star, and still, I can't think of anyone that compares to him still, and he's been gone for a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just recently, a couple of months ago, went to Seattle where he's laid to rest there.
Right. Wow.
Yes. So yeah, he lived in Seattle, Washington for a while. Yeah.
I haven't been there, but I do mean to get there one day.
Yeah.
Another thing, Luke, we have in common is, and I couldn't believe it when you done a thing with Jason Stevenson.
Right.
I used to listen to him for about 2 years every night, the sleep meditations, because I started to understand how the subconscious mind works.
Yes, that's how I did it too. That when I first started going through my what I like to call a transformation, he was one of the first people that I discovered on YouTube, and he impacted my life so much. I was listening to him for a couple of years straight too, that I said, you know what? I'm going to become friends with that guy. And now I can message him anytime if I need him on a platform, if I want to get him on a song, or if I want him involved in the project. Sometimes he takes a while to get back because he's really busy, but he always lets me know anything you need from me, I'm there. And I mean, he has shouted me out on his platform so many times. I mean, I never asked for him to do anything like that. Like, hey, Jason, I want to connect with you so that you can promote me. I've never asked him to do that. I only asked him to be involved with one of my songs if he wanted to collaborate. But that was after a period of time of us messaging each other back and forth. And I shared some of my music with him, and he really was intrigued by it and told me that I told him he was one of the main inspirations behind me changing my style to that affirmation style and more of a meditation style in my music now. I said it was because of him. And now that's been about 5 years ago. And now we still, every now and then keep in contact, Yeah. So
isn't that fabulous, though, Luke? Because I've watched, since we got on about 3 weeks ago, I've watched a lot of your interviews, and there's a saying, in giving you shall receive, and you're always putting it out there, your own time, and it comes back to you. It's one of the laws of the universe again, isn't it?
Right.
Which is beautiful, and it's not why you do it. And when you do it with an open heart and the goodness, it comes back to you anyway. And that's a change that I found in my life. Many things.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. And the universe has, believe me, and I won't go into details, has made sure that my I would say my purpose and the way I'm going about it is totally pure, with no selfish motives in there. The universe has ways, and it, to make sure of that too. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Eventually, it won't work. So whatever ideas I might have had in my head long ago about anything to do with self-gratification or fame or whatever, that is totally gone, especially as I'm taking this road. I am seeing myself as a world-renowned talk show host that is bringing conscious people on, because that's on a large scale that has not been done. People that are self-help, personal development, conscious, spiritual. That's my main focus, and enhancing lives and in different mindsets. That's my main focus. And like you said, I know that abundance comes with that, but that's not my main focus. My main focus is doing what I'm doing right now, which brings me real happiness, which is talking to extraordinary people like you from around the world. I mean, And I'm so thankful. That's the thing is, I feel so much gratitude when I talk and meet people that it's just, there's no way that I can totally describe that or make that up. That right, just connecting with people. I'm so thankful for this technology that we're able to do this. You're in another part of the world. I'm here, yeah. And yet we're right here sharing energy and thought currents and ideas and learning from each other. And that's just so, and able to build each other up and encourage one another along our journey. And it's just, that in itself is just so stimulating and amazing. And you cannot, again, put a price tag on that. But I totally, back to what you said, I totally believe when you're giving, you receive. That's just the universe. And the universe knows when you're providing service for people, you're compensated for that in all aspects of your life, not just monetarily, but everything, health and happiness and feeling balanced inside, which is the most important thing. And so amazing, Carl.
It is. It's amazing. Life is great when you understand that. It's
right.
Life changes forever, doesn't it? You know, because we're connected. We're all connected anyway, of course.
Right. And you're able to not totally deal with, I would say, and flow with things a lot better when you're like that. No matter what happens, when you go through these adversities, not saying that something can't catch you off guard, and we're still human. We go through emotions, but when you're working on yourself and when you're awakening and your consciousness you're working on your higher self, you're able to find something to build on no matter what happens.
Yeah.
You're able to find an open door no matter what happens. You're able to find a great lesson no matter what happens. So that's why one of my favorite sayings is, everything happens for my benefit. And I really am living and believing that now. And that's just all it is. You know, not saying that I could say that and then next thing you know, I run over a nail and it flattens my tire or whatever. And I could be discouraged at that moment, but I quickly grab myself and take grip. Hey, there's nothing I can do about that now besides get it fixed, do this and that, and keep on going. Maybe this happened to show me patience, or, you know, and that's it. That's all I can say. Or maybe this tire was a defective tire and it kept me from going high speed and blowing out on me. You know, maybe it saved me from something. So that's how I look at things now. I look at like everything is happening for my benefit. So it doesn't matter what happened. There's some kind of way it's leading to something that's for my benefit. So
absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. I mean, I discovered Eckhart Tolle about around probably about 18 years ago. And at the time, I was going through a real hard time in my life. And I remembered watching a documentary, and within 20 minutes, it was called The Flowering of Consciousness. And when I was watching it, I was in a very, very dark space in my life. And within 20 minutes, I had another shift, realizing it's not the things that are happening in my life that's causing me the pain. It's the way I'm thinking about them things. So you become a lot more aware of the thoughts in your head. Like you say, you know, anything happens, it's for your benefit. It's not poor me. And then it changes your frequency, which then changes what other things are going to come into your life, right?
Right. And then things just flow better. It just does. Yeah. It just does. And then when you also, what I've learned is gratitude for everything that I have now increases that. It increases more of, is basically you send it out a frequency to the universe. I'm thankful. So then the universe is like, okay, well, I want to give you more of what you're being thankful for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm thankful for everything. And just for people to understand, like, even if I find a penny on the ground, I'm going to pick it up and be thankful for this penny I just found and put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
And express gratitude, like, wow, thank you. You know, and just, I've learned that too. Just express gratitude for just things we normally take for granted, like just getting up and being able to walk, because you know, you of all people know what it's like to not have that ability. you were able to experience that, and it changes your life totally. If you don't have use of your hands or your eyes or your ears, it changes your life totally. I mean, not saying that there aren't extraordinary people that still do extraordinary things and get along without any of these things, but you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
You know, yes, but yeah, that's why I'm thankful. You know, I write a gratitude list in the evenings and in the mornings, and I'm just thankful. I'm thankful. You know, even before I got on a show with you, I said thank you to the universe for, you know, bringing Carl, you know, here and us sharing you know, a moment in time together. It's very valuable. I am a firm believer that time is one of the most precious assets and gifts, because you only have a certain amount and that's it. So you choosing to spend some of your time of your life to talk to me means a lot to me, you know?
And me too, Lou. Me
right.
too. Exactly. I was so excited that, you know, to do this tonight. I love speaking to people who love talking about self-empowerment and consciousness. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to do. That energy, because it's a high, beautiful energy, you know, and I love it. It's fabulous.
Right. Yeah. So let's okay. In regards to the music, before we get off that topic, yes, some kind of way. And I'm saying it here, so this will give us a reminder when we go back and watch this. Some kind of way, I don't have to know the answer, but some kind of way I want us to incorporate both of our gifts and talents in some type of project. I don't know. I don't have to know. Just setting that intention.
Yeah.
That this is what we're going to do. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Things will open up, and then the ideas will start flowing. So
it will happen. It will happen for sure.
It is happening. Yeah.
It's funny, you know, you asked me the question about when I became a singer, how did I become a singer? Well, I had that experience, a mystical experience, but then I volunteered as a cameraman on Rogers TV, right? A local internet TV thing in our area. So, and I'd put it out every time I was on camera that someone interesting today is going to come in and something's going to happen, because I've been writing songs. So cutting a long story short, Dan Clancy come in from the band Lighthouse. When he was leaving the set, he was one of the guests. I said, I've been writing songs, but I'm not in a band. So he took me on board under his wing, and we created the CD. So that's how I'd done the CDs. It wasn't like I had a band. It was magical. And then Princess Sound Mixer come in, mix the CD. And one of my songs is called The Voice. It's about the voice in your head. And the interesting thing is I was one of the guests on a local TV, and Dan Clancy was mixing the album in the studio with Stu Young. And they come on live, they called in and said, hey, we just want to call in and wish Carl the best for his new album. And so Garth Riley, who was interviewing me, said, oh, tell me, I believe Stu Young is working with him. And he said, well, actually, he's right here in the studio now, mixing the song, The Voice. But it's, you know, you talk about coincidences and the way things happen. And my family said I was crazy when I became a singer. Right. They said, you can't do that, you're a martial arts instructor. I said, you can do anything. The universe will open up if you do it with love and happiness, you know? Right.
You set your intentions, you set your focus to do something, and then you see how, like you said, the universe opened up and started providing. You had no idea of how this just showed up like that. It just happens. It just happens. And that's what I said. We set that intention to do a project together, to do a song or whatever we're going to do together. Then that's it. That intention has already been set. We both feel that same energy.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just exciting to not know and to anticipate what's going to happen. You know,
I agree.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get into your radio station now. Now you have a radio. What is it? Radio app station. I mean, where is it based out of, and when did you start that?
It's actually an internet radio station. It's a 24-hour, 7 days a week. And
And what is it called again?
It's called O2 Radio. O2
Okay.
Radio. But my show is called The Joy of Being.
Joy of Being.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's an hour show. I play songs, but I play songs with meaning. So let's say, for instance, I'll play All You Need Is Love by the Beatles.
Right.
Listen to them lyrics and them. So there's nothing you can do that can't be done. There's nothing you can sing that can't be sung. There's nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. So, for instance, I'll play that, and then I'll talk about the metaphysical side of that. Well, how does that come into play? You know, thoughts, vibrations. So after each song, I'll talk a bit about the song, and it's just letting people know that they can do that. They can change their lives when they start to understand, believe in it, and you'll achieve it, you know, use affirmations. And so it's all about that, Lou, you know.
That is another reason I personally know that I resonate with you, because what I get from you, even just from the little bit of show that I've listened to of yours, you are just a connoisseur of music. You like different genres, different bands, singers, and that's how I am. Yeah. I don't particularly put myself in the box and say, I only like this kind of music. Yeah. Because if I hear certain singers sing a certain song that I like, I just like it, you know, and it stands the test of time. Like, I know that song, All You Need Is Love by the Beatles, and that came out in the 60s, and I still know that, you know? Yeah. Is that 60s or 70s? 60s, right?
Well, probably, I think it was late 60s, yeah.
Yeah, late 60s. And I know that song. You know, if you put it on, you know, I could sing along, maybe not every single lyric to it, but I could say enough to that, you know, that I've listened to it before. And even Paul McCartney, a lot of his songs that he made in the 70s solo, I remember that being on the radio all the time, you know, Man on the Run and stuff like that, you know. So so many amazing songs out there, Luke, with lyrics. Right.
You know, sometimes I like that. I'm going to sing that. And as I'm singing the song, I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was really that's deep. You know what I mean? There's a lot of beautiful songs with great lyrics and with great messages that I've never heard before. But now I'm listening and singing. I'm like, wow, that's powerful, that song, you know?
Yes. Yeah, even though people focus on a lot of negativity in music, there are some positive songs that you could tell that these artists are aware and awake, and they might have had to make a certain kind of album to sell worldwide, but they still slid some messages in there. Like Marvin Gaye did that a lot, you know, that you knew that he was conscious, you know. So just the Beatles, of course, they knew, and Rod Stewart, a lot of these artists, they got some songs in there. If you listen to the lyrics, you can tell they were genuinely trying to tell you a message, or especially when it's a deep love song that you can tell that what they're singing about, they actually they went through it, you know, some type of heartbreak or some type of happiness in a relationship, whatever. Those are the types of songs that I really gravitate towards is those about just love. Yeah. And the ups and downs of love. It's all beautiful. Yeah. You know, the contrast, it's all beautiful to me.
That's beautiful.
Not just one way, because if you think about it, if you look at the downs, you appreciate the ups because of the downs, you know, not saying I want, you know, like I desire downs, but you appreciate it. You appreciate light because of darkness. You know, you look forward to the sun because of darkness. Yes. Yeah. And vice versa. When it's been bright for too long, okay, I'm ready for it to be dark so that I can relax and sleep, you know? So
that's why I like Canada, Lou. You know, from England, it's usually the weather's not that much different all year round, but in Canada, we get a hot summer, we get a lovely fall, we get a cold winter. So you see all the seasons, and by the time I've had enough of 4 or 5 months of heat, like tonight it's really hot, got all my windows open, that's why the little flies coming in with the light, you know. But it's lovely, that contrast, right? You enjoy it more when you've been hot. It's nice to be cool.
Right, right. You enjoy it. Yeah. And then if you're somewhere, yeah, like you said, when you're somewhere that it's been hot so much, then you can appreciate that coolness. But then when you're somewhere where you're cold all the time, a lot of people tend to vacation where it's warm,
Yes.
so it's like, we enjoy it. Now,
Yeah.
back to your show. When did you start that show?
About 14 weeks ago.
Oh, it's fairly new.
Quite new. I mean, and it was really weird. Cutting a long story short again, there's a friend of mine who does a lot of stuff with the Law of Attraction and Bob Proctor. You probably heard of Bob
Proctor.
Yeah, and so he done courses and he's got a book out, and he sent me a message on Facebook. Hey, Carl, someone asked me to do a radio show. Well, I don't really want to do, but I think you'd be good. So put your name forward. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll go for it.
Just open up.
Yeah, it opened up, and then within 2 days, they had the radio station from this area. I drove around, and they're like, we want you to start. But I've never done a radio station or anything, right? And I'm like, okay, give me a couple of weeks. She said, no, we want you to start next week. I said, okay, I'll do it. So each week it's better, right? You get more comfortable each time because it's a live show. It's an hour, and I'm really enjoying it, Luke. Really enjoying it.
Yes, from what I've heard, I can tell you really sound like a natural. I wouldn't have known that you had no prior experience in the radio broadcasting industry unless you told me, because it sounded like a show maybe you'd been doing for years.
Thank you.
So that's great. And how those opportunities and oftentimes, opportunities like that happen. You're not prepared for it. You just have to just go for it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you did. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's excellent. So what nights is that on? What days?
It's look, I do it on Thursday morning in Canada, 9 o'clock Eastern time, which is, I think it's 6 a.m. at your time.
At 6 a.m. here, Western time, West Coast time. Yeah, Pacific time.
But I also, it's repeated on Tuesday at 7 o'clock my time, which is 4 o'clock your time. Yeah, 7 o'clock Eastern time, which is your Pacific, right, Luz?
Yes, I want to make sure I put those times up too when I upload this video to YouTube. I want to make sure that I put the times and try to make a little scale on there for Canada and US time. So I'll try to break it down for Pacific, Eastern, and Mountain and whatever time so that people can go on and check that out.
Your shows will really like this station. I think it's different from, I've never heard anything like this. I'm like, what the heck? I'm just going to do it, because it's all about what you talk about in the interviews you do. It's all about that. But there's a song, so it's a show where I say to people, get your comfy chair, put your dancing shoes on, because you're going to be sitting and listening, but then you might be up dancing. And we finish with a meditation at the end of it too.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And the link to that show, you sent that to me so that I can put it in the description, right?
Do you know what, Lutz? I didn't, but right after this, I'll send you that for the radio show, the link for that. And I
want to make sure I got all your links so that people, when they watch this segment, they can go into the description and click on whatever they need to find you, or especially your radio station and your website and everything. So yes, make sure you send me that link as well. And then when I upload this video, I want to make sure I put everything in there, and then you look at it too once I upload it. And if I'm missing anything, we'll quickly fix it and make sure everything is in there.
You're the best. I'll do that. Thanks, Lee.
Yes. I think that's very important, especially that radio show. I want to listen to it more myself, and I definitely want other people to listen to it, because from what I heard, man, you played some songs on there that just brought back some memories and some nostalgia, and they were great songs, so beautiful songs. So the energy.
I heard your song "Smile" today.
Oh, okay.
I think you wrote it for your daughter, right? Is that correct?
I wrote another one called Ariana for my daughter. But
Oh,
Smile, yeah, I wrote that for my kids too.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm going to play that on the show next week for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, feel
Listen to
free.
it, it's
Feel
beautiful.
free. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you're inspired to hear anything, yeah, let me know. And I'm going to be getting back into the studio here sometime in the near future. I took a little break from it so that I could get this up and running, this show, because I'm the type of person that likes to put all my energy into one thing when I'm working on my projects and passions. So I know I could work on a show today, then work on music tomorrow, but I like to sit and meditate about, my shows, the guests, and my mind is just occupied with this right now. So I haven't been into my music for a couple of months now, but I definitely, it's not going to go anywhere because that's who I am. I love music. That's part of what enhances my life to create music and write lyrics and see what the universe has for me. And through every experience, I get more ideas, even just talking to you, more things to put, and it's just beautiful,
It is.
Wow. So I will put the links, but while we're here, how can people find you? You have a website that you could just tell us verbally here?
Yeah, it's www.carlstedmond.ca.
Okay. What other ways can people click and find you?
My email address is cstedmond@yahoo.com.
Oh, okay.
I'm also on Twitter and Facebook.
Carl Stedmond.
Yeah.
Right. So we got it then. So yes, before we conclude this segment, are there any last words, ideas, statements, anything, ideas, anything you'd like to say?
Okay.
Before we close.
I've got this T-shirt on, Lou. I don't know if you said it was on, though. It's like, we're all in this together.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Where'd you get that?
Actually, I probably had it for about a month. And I just want to let everyone know, because there's so many people going through hard times right now, and there's such a division on the planet. And I say to anyone watching, let's all agree if we disagree, but do it with love, do it with care, and let's not be divided in this time, because so many people going through such a hard time on the planet, Right. Let's stay together with love and care and kindness. And another thing, Luke, that I do, I teach children online martial arts and mindfulness, if anyone is interested in that.
Now, through what website can they click on to find that?
They could go to my website, or they could send me an email.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I want to be sure, because that's awesome.
Yeah. Another thing
that right there to me is a great thing, because to me, martial arts is contrary to what some people might think. It's not all about violence. It's totally about respect.
Yeah.
It's self-esteem, friendship. Because when I was a kid, I was involved in martial arts, and I just remember it was totally about respect and just appreciation and loving yourself, and just harmony and peace. And at the same time, still teaching you physical and how to defend yourself and things like that. So there's nothing wrong with that. And just promoting health and everything. So wellness.
Yeah. It changed my life, Luke, martial arts many years ago. I look back on my life and it changed it. And I'd like to give that to other kids, to empower them. And because it's a tough time for a lot of people right now. And one more thing, Luke, if you don't mind, Shane, I've got
Yes, absolutely.
I've got a series on YouTube as well. It's called Two Different Worlds. And it's me and my friend, that's what we're doing, the TV show, making a TV show about it, where I'm interviewing people as well. And I've nearly finished my first series, but hopefully the next series, Luce, I'll interview you. And it's about people
I'm here.
What they've gone through and their shift in consciousness and how it happened and all that. So I've done some great interviews with some great speakers. And we've also got some things on Facebook two different worlds, but it's going to be a TV series that's coming out when the universe wants it to come out.
Okay. Yeah. And be sure, whatever you have, before the segment goes up, send me some links to that. If you have any links that you can think about, make sure you send them all to me, the links to the YouTube segment, so I can put that all in there.
All right.
People can just click when they go to the description of this video, click right on there and watch that, you know, and see you. So that's absolutely amazing. So I just want to thank you, Carl, again for sharing some time with me and speaking with us, and just sharing and radiating your amazing energy and inspiration. Because like I said before, through your own things that you've been through, your own trials and tribulations and adversities, you are helping other people. And everyone likes to hear a story, an inspiring, real story where people have overcome, tremendous odds, and you have, and you still continue to do so. And that right there, that's never going to get old, because there's always someone out there that's on the brink of giving up, and their circumstances may be or may not be as worse as, bad as what you've been through. So I think it's an inspiration all the way around. And that's why I know that I'm doing my life's purpose right here, no matter if it impacts one person or a million people. I am doing my purpose right here, is to speaking to people like you, and, just learning myself and just being inspired. And it's just great. It's great for my spirit to have these conversations right here. In my mind. It's just so great. And I'm just so thankful that I'm in this place right now where I'm attracting this type of dialogue right here with people, and that people are inspired by me too. Sometimes I just have to pinch myself, like, man, these people like what I'm doing. I'm like, wow. And they live way over there, and I'm just so thankful. That's all.
I've been looking forward to this interview since we messaged about 3 weeks ago. I love what you're doing, Lou. You're changing the world, and it's fantastic. And it's been great talking to you. Seriously, keep it on, brother.
We'll keep talking. We got some things to work on. We got some things in the works that's gonna come up. So stay close. I'll stay close. We got each other. So you need me, I'm here. And vice versa. And then, we need to talk one day. We'll just get on the line and talk and throw some ideas back and forth. And see what we can start, see what we can get going here.
Yeah, for sure, Luke. That sounds great.
Right. Yes. Okay. So I just want to thank everybody for watching. And I know that you are enjoying this as much as I have. And beautiful, because it's all, about love, like Carl said, and just inspiring each other through whatever we go through, and then know that everything is unfolding for our highest good. And just hang on to that and believe that, we're very powerful. So thank you very much for watching Enlightened, Empowered, Evolve. I'll see you soon. Love and peace to everyone. Thank you.